Polar Opposites. Compare and Contrast Essay. Although they may seem similar, the polar regions of planet Earth are really very different. They affirm the old adage that there are two sides to the same coin. The astonishing climate traits of both the Arctic and Antarctica are stupefying. Temperatures of -60 degrees Fahrenheit are not unusual. If the harsh winds and vast ice sheets do not deter visitors, these strangers will find the elements disquieting at the very least. During polar winters, the sun never rises, while during the summers, it never sets. For centuries, explorers had to give careful thought to how to cope with these forces of nature. It was essential to adhere closely to a more rigorous program of safety precautions than explorers used in more temperate lands. The Arctic is a region of immense diversity. Although the terrain seems forbidding, many animals prowl the land, including polar bears, caribou, wolves, foxes, hares, and weasels. Migrant birds visit from as far away as Central and South America. Possibly the most famous of these birds is the Arctic tern. This summer visitor traverses thousands of miles every year, from Antarctica to the Arctic. The ocean surges with abundant marine life, especially when warm currents move around some of the Arctic coasts. Surprisingly, vegetation is widespread. Algae, lichens, and dwarf shrubs persist, even in areas of permanent ice. The Arctic is also home to a broad range of native peoples. For example, the Inuit and Aleuts reside in northern North America and Greenland. The Eurasian Arctic is home to the Sami, sometimes called the Lapps, as well as the Nenets, Samoyed, and the Evenks, Tungus. To suppose that these peoples view their environment as hostile would be a misapprehension. According to anthropologists, many Arctic residents are optimists. They perceive their surroundings as benevolent and empowering, offering an abundant livelihood. By contrast with the Arctic, which is made up of portions of several continents, Antarctica is a true continent. The fifth largest on Earth, its landmass covers 5.5 million square miles and lies almost wholly beneath a vast ice sheet. The ice measures 7 million cubic miles. That's about 90% of all the ice on Earth. In 1983, the lowest recorded temperature on Earth was measured at an Antarctic research center, Vostok Station, -128.6 degrees Fahrenheit. Unlike the Arctic, the interior of Antarctica may boast only of invertebrate microfauna, such as nematodes and ciliate protozoans. Seals and birds live on the edges of the land. Probably the most spectacular resident of Antarctica is the emperor penguin, a flightless bird standing between 3 and 4 feet tall. Antarctica is the only continent on Earth without a native human population. Although the North and South Poles were first reached at roughly the same time in the early 1900s, the Arctic and Antarctic regions have had different exploration histories. Study of Antarctica lagged for some time, largely because trade routes from North America and Europe to the east seemed much more appealing in the far north. The 1950s, however, witnessed two important events for Antarctica. First was the development of the tourist industry. Second was the Antarctic Treaty, a breakthrough in international diplomacy. This treaty preserved Antarctica from corrupt or unscrupulous exploitation that would mangle the environment. The agreement set aside the continent as a scientific preserve. Despite differences between these two polar regions, both have been an equal source of fascination and inspiration for people throughout the centuries.